Valorant's next character was just leaked, and it's in a very similar manner to how Fade got leaked a little while back. This is a screenshot that was taken from a QA tester from Riot. So in essence, they send these out and essentially people test to make sure that there are no issues with them. That is where people believe this leak came from, but it's in development for the next character, and it is an explanation of all of their abilities. Now, we've known that we are getting a kind of water-based character for a little bit, and some people thought we'd be getting it with the most recent act, but it looks like it will be coming in the next act, and we now know what that character is going to look like, at least from an ability standpoint. You'll notice that the hands and the icon in the top is not finished, but the explanation of all the abilities are. You will also note that this is in beta, or not even beta, this is still being developed as we're talking about it right now, and it was not meant to be seen by the public. And so things are very likely going to change, but this overall looks like the same fashion. I doubted the Fade leaks and they ended up being true, and this is looking like it's a similar story. Either way, let's jump into these one by one. This is going to be a controller. Let's start with the signature ability, Bubble. It says, equip Bubble and enter into a phase state to place down a bubble by pressing the ability key. Activate to create an impenetrable bubble. Bullets cannot pass through. So you can kind of think about this like a Omen smoke, but bullets can't go through. And you might say, wow, that seems really broken. And I agree. We're going to talk a little bit about my opinions and what I think is happening at the end. We're just going to kind of go through the abilities now. Either way, there are two charges of that. Then we have Tartarus Pit. Equip a Tartarus charge. Fire to launch a crippling shot that deals some damage and slows players while within its zone. So kind of a slow ability. I don't want to say it's similar to Astra, but it reminds me of a similar thing where it's going to be kind of stopping pushes similar to like a Sage slow. And then Vision Taker, equip a distortion wall launcher. Fire to create a small line of distortion. Enemies will get briefly blinded if they walk through. Okay? And then the ultimate Golem. Equip the Golem doll. Fire to throw down the doll. All teammates in the radius will get a regeneration buff, and enemies will get a decayed buff. Lasts for a duration or until destroyed by enemies. So that's kind of a basic breakdown of all the abilities. Let's kind of talk about what I think this is going to be. This to me looks like an answer to Viper being the only wall controller. Right now, on maps like Breeze, Viper is a must pick because there are no other controllers that can consistently have a wall to block off the really long sight lines. Now, we don't know what the interface looks like in terms of actually using these abilities. Do you need line of sight? Does the wall go through walls? You know, There's a lot we have to talk about. I have no idea how the smokes are placed, but in essence, this is going to be a second character that every single round can have a wall, and unlike Viper, where it's a signature ability, that is something you actually are going to have to purchase. The other really interesting thing when we look at Bubble, which appear to be more like dome smokes, is that bullets cannot pass through. Now, you might say, wow, a smoke that you can't spam seems really broken, and I agree. I mean, think about it like this. Imagine you put this smoke around the bomb and then just diffuse. Normally you would counter that by just spamming through the smoke, and it kind of just becomes a game of luck. Well, with Bubble, bullets are going to get stopped, and it's something kind of like an Astra wall. Now, I think this is going to be balanced in a couple different ways. Pretty much everything from here on is going to be somewhat speculation, but there's one word in the wall ability that I think kind of hints at something. It says, equip a distortion wall launcher. So if I were guessing, this person is going to be a controller, but the smokes and the wall are actually going to be see-through. They seem to be water-based, and you can see through a bubble, you can see through like a mist. And so my guess is going to be that this character is going to be very, very potent in being able to put down smokes and walls and things, but it doesn't actually block off vision. And so it kind of becomes this, yes, you can have really, really good smokes, really, really good walls, but you're not denying information like most controllers do. You're stopping fights. So let's think about it like this. Let's imagine we're attacking Ascent A, and we're pushing there, and normally you would smoke off tree. Well, if this character is your controller, you will not be able to block off vision from tree, meaning people will still be able to see that you're pushing onto site. Maybe it'll be a little bit distorted, but they won't be able to shoot you, which is both a good and a bad thing. I mean, it means that they can see you, they have that information, but it also means you can see where they're at. You can't play inside the smokes like an Omen can, but you can block things off. It means you can't be spammed through, which seems really, really good. And it seems like this interesting kind of perspective. I really hope this is the case because Bubble sounds like it's going to be almost like an Omen style smoke where it says to enter a phased state, where you're going to be kind of like Astro or Omen, where you can just put smokes where you want. And if these are normal smokes and normal walls, I do think this will become one of the most powerful controllers in the game. Imagine Viper, but she has 2 smokes and she doesn't need lineups to put them everywhere. That's the biggest issue with running Viper on maps like Fracture, is that yes, the wall can be really, really nice, but getting smokes to important places like maybe tower or ropes or anything like that can be difficult. And this seems like it can just do both. It also has some of the same defensive capabilities of Viper with that like slow orb ability. Overall, this seems really good. I could see changes happening, but I'm really expecting these to be kind of see-through smokes, or at least distortion-based smokes. Maybe you won't be able to see exactly where they are, but you can kind of see that something is happening. And I think that would be really cool. I don't know if I ever made a video about it. I had an idea about a controller like that. Again, a lot of how good this is going to be is how they're placed. Can you only place smokes in a really short area? Is it going to be like a local smoker? Because right now we really don't have that. Brimstone is the closest thing to a local smoker, but he can still be pretty far away. Maybe this will be someone who, they have to be pretty close. They have to be pushing with team. It'll be interesting to see. The ultimate seems a little out of place, but it may be if you're paying attention to the lore, the artifact that was stolen. More healing is going to be good. You may be able to put the golem down and then put a bubble around it, because it says it can be destroyed by enemies. Maybe the bubble will stop that. Again, the biggest thing I'm worried about is that you're going to be able to just sit on the bomb with the smoke around you. So these are probably going to be either short-lived smokes, or another thing that is possible, they may be poppable smokes, which I don't know how I feel about that. If these are like recharging on a cooldown, it is possible that maybe you can put down a smoke and it'll stop bullets, but it'll like slowly crack the bubble and then eventually it breaks. That could be kind of an interesting one. Like, for example, what if these smokes never go away, but you can shoot at the smokes to make them go away? That'd be kind of like an interesting kind of Sage Wall style thing. Either way, guys, I want to know your guys' thoughts on this in the comments down below. It looks like a really exciting character. I'm personally I love controllers. Astro was our last controller back in like February of 2021, so it's been quite some time since we've had one. This seems like it'll be a really interesting take on it, and I'm excited to see all the details coming up. Again, we are still about probably 60 days away from this coming out, so don't expect it anytime soon, but this is kind of our first general look at it. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you guys want to see more, some more awesome videos, hit the cards, or the thing on the end screen right now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.